Hey everyone, it's Robin here. Now today I'm going to do something a bit different and share with you a bit of a journey of my own and how it got to where I am today. So I was born in Penang, Malaysia, and I spent my entire childhood in that small little island. I hold a bachelor degree in mechatronics engineering, and I pretty much secured an internship in a big massive corporation called Intel, which is one of the largest chip maker in the world, after I graduated from uni. So I thought I was set for life. I've managed to secure a position in a major engineering company. I was graduating with honors and I had a new girlfriend. However, I soon realized that life is never what it seems. I find myself bored to death with a typical 9-to-5 engineering working environment, so much so that I told myself I'm never ever gonna step back into that environment again. So it wasn't so much that I disliked the work, it was more of the mundane 9-to-5 routine that I hated so much. It felt like I'm just another number in a big corporation, I'm just another robot, should I say. So I decided to leave Intel as soon as my internship finished, and not to apply for the graduate position, because that's normally what people do after they've done their internship. And I soon find myself landed in a sales position with a Japanese company called Toshiba. And also with that, I then realized that I was pretty good at selling, especially with the interest of computers and combining with my technical knowledge, and I found myself doing really well in that field after just a short year. And it was around this time that my perfect world came crashing down. And that was the moment that forced me to grow up. My mom was diagnosed with cancer, and shortly after, a very difficult and extremely short 3 months, she passed away. And it took me a year or so before I slowly came out of my grieving stage and faced reality and start evaluating my future in life. So I've decided it's time for a change. So back in January 2008, I migrated to Australia with the hopes of a better future, and finally reuniting with my girlfriend, which we have been doing like a long distance relationship for the past 2 years or so. And although this may sound cliche, but I really came to Australia with nothing but a few $100s on my name and a big dream to basically have a massive change in my life. And I had no one other than my girlfriend, no network or whatsoever. So obviously not many people supported my decisions to migrate over. And in fact, a lot of them have even given me case studies after case studies of how their friends have failed after they came to Australia and couldn't find a job. And a lot of them try to discourage me that it's such a big decision that I should think harder, or I should spend more time thinking about it rather than just say, right, that's it, I'm gonna leave everything behind and then just migrate to Australia. And they keep telling me that I shouldn't be throwing away what I've invested my time and resources in the last 4 years in uni and just start everything afresh in Australia. But that didn't change my mind, because unfortunately I was one of those stubborn individuals who are determined to basically follow through once I made up my mind. So I had nothing to lose anymore, so I decided to give everything I've got and work hard in my new life in Brisbane. So as soon as I arrived in Brisbane, I started applying to as many jobs as I can. Now naturally it wasn't as easy as it seemed. So it was a long wait before I got my first real job. So to survive, I took up odd jobs here and there to fill out my time. And one of the lasting memory I've had was my first ever paying job in Australia. I got a job over an online listing called Gumtree, which is similar to like Craigslist in the US. And basically what that does is that job is to trim bushes and weed on family's garden. Now you may think that's nothing, but imagine this. A week ago, I was driving in my car with my suits and ties and meeting up with clients and enjoying the air conditioning working environment. Fast forward a week later, I was pretty much under the hot Australian sun, bending over to pull out weeds from someone else's garden and with my bare hands. So that was quite a drastic change if you think about it. But I persevered. I'm not one of those self-pity individuals, so I did what I have to do to survive until one day I got accepted into an engineering drafting position just before the GFC hit back in 2009. And the drafting position was, as I've expected, boring as hell. However, it pays the bill, so I just had to stay put. So it is during this time when I encountered another major moment in my life. I heard about ad deals, 30 days challenge to make $1 online. So that intrigued me, because if I can make $1 online, then I can easily make a lot more after a while, you know. Plus, it sounded so easy, you know. I mean, it's only $1. How hard could it be? But little did I know that it would take many years of testings and mistakes to get it right. So that's where the hunger of knowledge in online marketing and my shiny object syndromes began. I love the idea of online marketing, don't get me wrong, because I love the idea of working anytime, anywhere I want. And I love the fact that I get paid working in my pajamas from home, and you know, I'm my own boss, and I'm fully accountable for whatever I do, and reaping all the rewards for myself. So, and also the fact that I don't have to justify my performance to any managers to get that pay rise. So my first step into online marketing was learning PPC from a guy called Amit Mehta. I think the course was called PPC Classroom. And then I got introduced to PPV when PPC was overcrowded. And that was taught by a guy called Gohar Chaudhary. I think he's living in Canada. So I was basically burning more money than I could make. And I felt like I jumped straight into the deep blue ocean and swam with the sharks, when I should have been, you know, learning how to stay afloat in a small lake first, you know. But I still had that hopes and dreams of making it big one day. So I was obsessed with the idea of working online, and deep down I knew that this is the path for me. So I didn't give up and decided to do something different. So that's when I started doing SEO after I realized that I couldn't afford to pay for traffic. So this was a major turn of events for me, because at the same time I was laid off from my drafting position just one day before Chinese New Year. Now imagine that you're gonna fly back and celebrate New Year with your family, and just the day before that you got told that you're made redundant. I could still remember that moment. I actually teared and went back to my girlfriend back then. I didn't know what to do. I felt sad, I felt angry at myself, I felt frustrated, and all I could think of was, how am I gonna tell my parents or my families and my friends? I just couldn't stand the fact that I had to tell them I just lost my job, and you know, I failed on that, or I failed myself. So, you know, being me, as stubborn as I am, I put up a smiling face throughout the whole celebration, and I didn't tell anyone about it. However, I got to thank the company who laid me off, because it actually led me to my next position with a local digital agency that pretty much exposed me to the potential of selling online marketing services to local businesses and the ins and outs of running an agency. And at the same time, my SEO skills have developed fairly well, so much that I was passionate and confident enough to pursue this path on my own. So shortly after a year or so, I decided to venture out on my own and set up my own digital agency with a business partner. And we built out an entire company from scratch with what we've known and very little capital. And it basically took us 3 years to set everything up, and before I sold out and left everything due to conflict of interest and the fact that I found my passion on SEO. And so starting a company from scratch is definitely not as easy as it sounds or it appears to be, and there was a lot of trials and error, and we did a lot of mistakes back then. And I was only 26 years old back then, eager and naive. It took a lot of mistakes to realize that the only way to succeed was to focus on my niche instead of trying to do everything and trying to be everything for everyone. So I sold out my fair share to focus on what I'm ultimately good at and what I'm passionate about, and that was the best decision that I've ever made in my life. So I was lucky in the sense that I made so many major mistakes in the last 5 years of my life, and the fact that most people would have taken 20 years or so to make those. And I realized my passion for SEO and knew that this would be my niche to grow. So I've basically grown from my passion of SEO, learning from the best of the best in the industry, and test the heck out of whatever I can think of, and build up case studies and hone my skills to where it is today. So SEO has proven to be the most consistent and reliable source of traffic if you do it right. So since then, I've helped a lot of business owners to grow their businesses to a level that they couldn't imagine possible in such a short time or period. So I know I was doing something right when my clients would personally thank me non-stop for the value that I've added to their business. And all I can say is that the feeling is priceless. And it's built up my confidence in SEO, so much so that I would want to help as many local businesses as I can from that. So this eventually boosted my confidence, and it also brought me to publishing one of Amazon's best-selling Kindle ebook in the niche. It's called Your SEO Sucks, which you can check it out. Basically, I've highlighted all the nuts and bolts about SEO. So if you're new to SEO, you can check that out. I've laid everything out and debunked the whole SEO myth. Okay, all in all, the reason why I'm sharing my journey here is to show you the possibilities that you can achieve in life if you put your heart and soul into it. Now, my philosophy in life is simple. If you want the lifestyle or the things that others don't have, then you gotta be willing to do the things that others aren't willing to do. So, success in life is the result of good judgment. Good judgment is usually the result of experience. And experience is usually the result of bad judgment. So don't be afraid of making mistakes or failing, because every successful people in their life has had their failures in the past. So every master was once a disaster. So go out there and live your life to the fullest, and remember, the only regret in life that you have are the things that you didn't do. So I hope you've enjoyed the story of my life, and it has some way inspired you to go out there and design your own life.